Axis Securities, ICICI Securities, and Motilal Oswal have recently given a buy rating to this one specific bank. And not just that, this bank is making massive moves. They have aggressively sold off their bad loans to clean their slate, just like the PSU banks did in 2022. And we saw a massive rally in PSU banks. Now, this bank is drastically reducing its risky microfinance exposure, and their non performing assets have gone down from 6.5% to just 3.3%. So, the 150 rupee stock that I am talking about is Bandhan Bank. So, is this the ultimate comeback story for Bandhan Bank? And should we start buying the stock to ride the reversal? Hold that thought for now, because for the last 5 years, this very bank has hit a new yearly low every single year. Now the stock has crashed from 700 rupees all the way down to just 150 rupees. Now that is a 80% wealth destruction. So what is the truth? On one side, the company's fundamentals are improving, the DIIs are increasing their position and have given a strong buy rating. On the other hand, the FIIs are selling and the stock is falling down. So let's decode this mystery of Bandhan Bank today, whether it is a multi-bagger opportunity or is it a value trap. So to understand where Bandhan Bank is going, first we need to understand how it crashed. And it all began with a brilliant model which had a ticking time bomb inside of it. Think of your own banks, HDFC, ICICI. The relationship manager calls you and tells you take this credit card, buy this insurance and invest in our mutual funds. They try to cross sell you everything. Why? Because you live in a city and they know that you have disposable income. But these big banks have zero interest in rural areas. They only open branches over there because RBI mandates that 25% of the new branches should be in rural areas. And if you remove that rule, they won't even look twice. And Bandhan Bank did the exact opposite. Their tagline was banking the unbanked. They started as a microfinance institution. And even today, 73% of their branches are in rural India. And the logic? Why fight for scraps in Mumbai and Delhi when you can own the market in rural India where majority of our population lives and competition barely exists? See, in 2010, the entire banking sector believed that the poor people will not repay their loans. But Bandhan Bank proved them all wrong. Their collection rates were 99%. And the research papers confirmed it that with the right model, even the poorest pay in full. But when the Andhra Pradesh microfinance crisis hit, the borrowers simply could not pay their high interest loans. Followed, the government passed emergency ordinances and the collection rates across the sector dropped from 99% to just 20%. But Bandhan Bank survived that as well. They got a banking license, launched their IPO, and by 2020, 61% of their loan book was still microfinance. A beautiful model, but here is where it cracked. See, the data proved that low income borrowers repay, but it missed an important human element which we will understand with this story. Now, Monica G from Lakhimpur, Assam took a 30,000 rupee loan. An honest borrower. She almost repaid the entire amount, just a few installments were left. But then came the 2021 Assam Assembly elections, and the political parties started promising that vote for us and we will repay all of your loans. So Monica G and 1,000 other borrowers like her stopped repaying. They thought that why should we repay when the government is anyway going to waive it off? So the problem was that 16% of Bandhan Bank's entire portfolio was concentrated in Assam. So this was not a small hit. It was a big body blow. And the tragic irony was that no loan waiver actually happened. Not a single rupee was waived off, but the damage was already done. And in 2020, Bandhan Bank reported a net profit of 3,000 crore rupees, and the very next year it crashed to 2,200 crore rupees, and it has never gone back. Even when RBI removed the cap for microfinance interest rates, letting the banks charge 30 to 40%, it still did not fix the core problem. So is Bandhan Bank a bad stock and should we stay away from it? No, the management is smart and they have pivoted hard with Bandhan 2.0. Now their plan is to cut the microfinance exposure in half over the next 2 to 3 years, reduce the MSME loans, shift to safer products like gold loans and home loans. Currently 60% of their loans are unsecured, given purely on trust with no collateral. So their target is to bring it down to 50%. And in 2023, they sold off over 7,500 crores of bad loans. And by the end of 2025, another 6,900 crores. So their philosophy is simple: book the loss, clean the slate, and start afresh. But another blow came in 2024. The founder, C.S. Ghosh, the man who built the empire from a microfinance institution to a listed bank, retired. The architect walked away, but the management was firm that we are still on the Bandhan 2.0 path, and the numbers showed progress. The NPAs dropped from 6.5% in Q1 of FY 2025 to 5%, and currently it is at 3.3% in Q3 of FY 2026, and that is a very good sign. So is the stock undervalued at 150? Let's have a look. Just go on any screener and the PE ratio shows 30x. Now that is way above the banking average and looks overvalued even after the crash. But that number is misleading. Why? Because all of the bad loans they sold caused a massive one-time loss on the income statement, crushing reported earnings and artificially inflating the PE. So you cannot just look at a website number and call it the PE. Normalize it and the earnings strip out those one-time hits, and the adjusted PE is just 10x, which is significantly cheaper than the sector. And the price to book ratio? Just 1.1x. And India's top 4 banks trade at over 2x. But before making any decision, let us have a look at the technicals. Now, Bandhan Bank has been in a sharp downtrend for the last 4 to 5 years. And the positive part is that the stock had broken out of its long-term downtrend, but because of the recent market correction, it has fallen down back again. And it's now testing the same trend line as support. Now, this is the key level to watch. And if the stock fails to sustain above the support, then from a technical perspective, buying at this stage becomes very risky. And the second important level is of 128 rupees, which is the ultimate support for the stock. And if the stock breaks this support, then technically the stock can even fall towards 70 rupees. So if you have not built any position in the stock, this is a wait and watch stock for now. But if you have already built position, then this is not a sell either. Most likely we could see the stock consolidate in a broad range between 128 rupees and 204 rupees. Now the positive perspective for the stock is that if the asset cleanup succeeds, then there is value to capture. Maybe not a full recovery till 700 rupees, but still a meaningful upside. And the risk is that moving from microfinance to home loans and gold loans means stepping into the arena of HDFC, ICICI and SBI. Now the competition is brutal and demand for conventional products in rural areas is not the same as microfinance. So profitability and growth could suffer during this transition. Personally, comeback stories carry enormous risk, and I get very cautious with this level of uncertainty. So if the growth does not return and if they struggle for the next 2 to 3 years, then the stock can fall even further. So this is a high risk, high reward kind of stock, but I am staying away from it. And as always, this was Sanika from Rangavan Finance, and I will see you very soon in the next video. And if you have any video suggestions, then drop them down in the comments below. Till then, bye bye.